hope you enjoyed your holidays. I know a lot of people have been waiting for your comeback.
I hate that word. It's a return. Oh, did people ask y'all? Because I got a lot of people that asked about when are you going to make another video.
Yes.
So y'all,
Facebook
that was
page,
all
yes.
sweet. It was real nice. It's nice to be missed. We want to just go jump into it.
Yeah, I think we should.
Do we want to talk
Jump
about
in.
the Democrats first or the Republicans?
The Democrats.
The Democrats.
Democrats. Okay. Well, the Democrats, they're having a big old policy party, aren't they? They're just in hog heaven because they're talking about income inequality and gun control. And Senator Sanders and Secretary Clinton, you know, every time they talk and they're trying, you know, he's trying to get to the left of her and she's trying to get to the left of him, and she's doing it on gun control and he's doing it on income inequality, and she's not strong enough against the banks and he's not strong enough with gun restrictions, and I'm like, but every time they talk about each other, it's about, oh, you know, my good friend Secretary Clinton, we've been friends for years, and my good friend Senator Sanders, Bernie, he's a good friend of mine. And I'm the only one that thinks that those two people are not real good friends. I'm thinking that they're not. But I think that the Democrats, that's kind of where they are, right? They're actually talking about policy. And the Republicans are just kind of talking. You know, I was talking to Carl yesterday, and, you know, I grew up, we played games all the time growing up. We played, you know, dominoes and 42, if anybody knows 42, and we played Mexican dominoes. You can't say Mexican dominoes. Okay, well, never mind. But we played dominoes, and we played all kinds of games growing up. And so I'm a firm believer that most of life's riddles, in fact, maybe all of life's riddles, can be solved through what you learn in the movies or in game strategy. Now, normally, the game strategy that I use, and Carl will tell you, it's like I'm always saying, well, it's like when you play poker, or it's like when you play Risk. Y'all ever play Risk in college?
Yes.
Conquer the World. Wonderful game. Especially if a lot of drinking is involved. I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, those are what I usually go to. But for what's going on in the Republican Party right now, the strategy we need to talk about is King of the Hill. Which is not nearly as sophisticated as poker or Risk. But, you know, when I was growing up, and, you know, playing with the little boys in the neighborhood, which I did. Shouldn't have said that either. God, I'm bad at saying stuff I don't need to be saying. But, you know, when I was growing up, behind our house, and the ones of you that are from Tyler can appreciate this, because back when I was growing up, woods and whatever was just undeveloped land, and that's where they ended up building all the houses over on Cameron and Bryan out going toward the loop. But when I was a child, there was nothing there, so we could go back there and we'd play King of the Hill with the other little boys, because the little girls in the neighborhood mercifully did not play King of the Hill. That's not sexist, they just didn't. They stayed home and played with their Barbies, and sometimes I was with them too. But when I was back behind the house, you play King of the Hill, and the whole thing about that is, you know, it's to knock the little boy who's on the top of the hill off the hill. Strangely enough, the strategy for that game was never all of the little boys who weren't the king of the hill fight amongst themselves to determine who is going to take on the king. The strategy was for everyone to pile on the king. Well, apparently, none of the people who are in the Republican primary, they never played King of the Hill, or they would know they should all be attacking the king, and that's Donald Trump. Instead, they seem to be playing another game from childhood. They're kind of like they're playing Cowboys and Indians, or
What was it, Native Americans?
I have to agree with Donald Trump about one thing. It is awfully hard, this political correctness, when you are of a certain age, and every memory from childhood from the segregated South is all about inappropriate things. But they seem to be playing gunfight at the OK Corral. And the problem is they're all in the corral and they've all got their sawed-off shotguns and 22s and 17s and 40, whatever. I don't know anything about guns, but they're all the rocks and they're all shooting each other. But Donald Trump is on the roof at the saloon across the street with an AK-47, and he's just picking them off. And so I don't think that strategy is working for them either. So I think it's time, not that I'm in the business of giving advice to the Republican candidates, y'all might want to consult the last successful Republican and see what he might offer you in terms of some strategery. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, I certainly hope that you will subscribe. They tell me that there's a button around here somewhere so you can subscribe. Also, visit our webpage, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, like us, share us with your friends, send comments, send love. Anyway, you all know more about social media than I do, so do what you need to do, and I hope to see you again very soon.